Hello again. In this problem, we will be graphing a rational function. This will be the function f of x equals x squared over x squared plus 5x minus 14. We'll be finding the horizontal and vertical asymptotes as well as any x or y intercepts that we might have. So we'll go ahead and start off easy and just find the intercepts. To find the x-intercepts, all we have to do is set this guy equal to 0. And if we set it equal to 0, remember that that's just the same as setting the numerator equal to 0. You could easily figure this out just by multiplying by that bottom term on both sides, and it will cancel out. So for the intercepts, we will get x squared equals 0, which means that x equals 0 will be our x-intercept. So we'll go ahead and draw that into our graph here. Next, we'll go ahead and find the horizontal asymptote. Just abbreviate that HASY. And remember, to get the horizontal asymptote, all we have to do is divide these two terms. Now we could do long division on this one, but since the terms are equal to each other, there's kind of a shortcut where we just divide the top, the maximum exponent term in the top and the bottom. In this case, that will be x squared over x squared. And if we do that, we'll just get 1. So our horizontal asymptote here will be y equals 1. So we'll go ahead and draw that in as well. Okay, now for the vertical asymptote, or vertical asymptotes, we'll have to take a look at the bottom and figure out where that is equal to 0. We'll go ahead and abbreviate that VASY. So if we take x squared plus 5x minus 14, which is the denominator of our function, and set that equal to 0, we'll have our vertical asymptotes. In this case, we will have 2 of them because we have a quadratic. So factoring that, we get x plus 7 times x minus 2. So our 2 vertical asymptotes here will be x equals 2 and x equals negative 7. Okay, so we'll just assume this is negative 7 over here. This is about 2 right there. So we get a vertical asymptote there and there. Okay, so we kind of have the framework of what this function is going to look like, but we kind of have to just plug in some different terms in order to figure out, well, for this middle portion here, what's happening to the right of 0, what's happening to the left of 0. We know that's going to be the only place it hits the x-axis. So if we get a negative value over here, then we will know that our function will just go like that all the way down to negative infinity. If we get a positive value over here, we know it would go up like that. But let's just go ahead and plug in some test values. We'll figure out whether it's positive or negative, and we know that it will just continue that trend. Okay, so if we plug in x equals 1, I'll kind of let you guys do this for yourself, but you would see that you would get a negative value. So since we're getting a negative value and we can't cross that x-axis again because we don't have any more x-intercepts, we'll just go all the way down to negative infinity over this way. Now we'll do the same thing for the left-hand side, see what the trend is. We'll go ahead and plug in a negative 1, and again, we would get a negative value. So we're going to look something like that. Now for the other 2 regions, we're going to have something to the left of negative 7 and something to the right of positive 2. We just kind of have to figure out which section of the grid it's in. If I plug in x equals 3 and we get something up here, then we would just go ahead and follow our asymptotes like that. Otherwise, if we got something negative, we'd follow like that. So which one is it? Well, we'll just plug in x equals 3, and we would get something greater than 1. I'll let you do that for yourself again. But since we have something above that horizontal asymptote, it will continue to look like that. Now we would do the same thing for y equals -8, just test point to the left of -7. And if we do that, we would get something greater than y equals 1 as well. So then we know it must be in this region here. If we got something less than y equals 1, then of course it would be in the bottom region and would look a little different. But that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, please post in the comments below or send me a message in Ivy Learn.